Good morning, students. Welcome to second session. In this session, we will continue with the same chapter, power sharing. Let's recap some of the points of previous session. In previous session, we studied about two countries, one Belgium and another one in Sri Lanka. We studied about tensions prevailing in society, which gave rise to violence, and we also studied that in both the countries, the government tried to solve that problem in two very different manners. In Belgium, the intention of government was to accommodate those differences, and for this reason they amended constitution four times. Along with it, they gave equal representation to both the communities, French and Dutch, both at central government and in states also. They created one more government, that is known as community government, in order to deal with the issues like education, language, culture, etc. But in Sri Lanka, the situation was entirely different. The Sri Lankan government intentionally wanted to establish the supremacy of majority over minority Tamil, and for that reason, they established a number of provisions which make Tamils feel that they were discriminated or they were underdogs, and which gave rise to violence, tension, and the situation became very explosive, and which gave rise to a civil war-like situation. After that, we studied why power sharing is required, and we discussed two reasons. First reason for power sharing was prudential reason, which is wise calculation of gains and losses. And simply that if power is shared among communities, among various communities, among social groups, among people, people feel satisfied, and it reduces the possibility of dissatisfaction, and it reduces the policy of conflicts, which give rise to political stability, and when political stability is established, country grows. Another reason for power sharing, we discussed that it is the moral reason. Moral reason meant that it is the basic tenet of democracy, that power should be shared. People should be consulted the way they wanted to be governed. People should be stakeholders. People should participate in running government, in the formation of laws, and so on and so forth. In this session, we will cover the next topic, the forms of power sharing in modern democracies. Now we will discuss that how many ways power can be shared with different organs of government, with social groups, with political parties, with pressure group, and etc. To begin with, the first is horizontal power sharing. I repeat, horizontal power sharing. You can see that horizontal, I have drawn a horizontal line, and above them I have written the names of organs of government, namely legislature, the law-making body, executive runs government, and judiciary give justice and decide conflicts among organs and between people and among people. It means that these organs are equal in status, but their jurisdiction is different. That they are that this body is responsible for law making, this is for decision making and governing, and this is for giving justice. And it is known as separation of power among various organs of government. They work in their jurisdiction, they generally don't interfere in each other's jurisdiction, but they enjoy equal status. This has been done just to distribute power. Earlier in monarchical system, we observe that power used to concentrate all the powers, be it lawmaking, be it running government, taking decision, or giving justice, used to be concentrated in the hands of one person. But in and which gave rise to misuse of power. In order to avoid that situation in democracy, this type of division we can see that power is divided among these three organs of government, and this is known as separation of power in order to avoid misuse of power, along with to establish the principle of power sharing. There is another principle related to it, that is principle of checks and balance. Principle of checks and balance mean that these these organs keep check on each other. For example, to make it simple, I will explain that executive, that is government, that is decision making organ, is responsible to legislature for its works. What is legislature? Legislature is directly elected by people. So the executive is directly responsible, directly answerable to legislature. Now, the judges of judiciary are appointed by executive. But the role of judiciary is to keep a check on both the organs, legislature and executive, and to check whether they are working according to the constitution or not. Whether laws made by legislature are according to constitution, and whether executive is running the nation, the country according to constitution or not. Here you can see that this is that each organ is balancing, checking each other. So this is all about horizontal power sharing. You can see three organs enjoying the same status, but there is separation of power. They are working, they are rendering their services in their own jurisdiction, but there is principle of checks and balances, that they are checking, keeping control on each other, checking each other's various activities, and that way maintaining balance. Now we switch over to another system of power sharing, another form of power sharing, and it is vertical. I have drawn like vertical like this. It is not found everywhere. It is found only in those countries which have adopted federal type of government. Federal type of government means at least two sets of government, one for whole country and other for different states, as we have in India. It's not restricted to only center and state. It can be further divided, that we can see in India we have panchayats, we have municipalities at local level. And how is it different from horizontal type of power sharing? That in vertical power sharing, center is the most powerful one, followed by states. It has lesser power than center, and other local bodies like panchayat and municipalities also enjoy lesser power. They, or in most of the cases, this power division is done by the constitution. Although states have lesser power, but they are not subordinate to center. They work according to the constitution. So you can see in vertical power sharing, the power is shared among center, states, and further as the case may be. But mind it, it is not found everywhere. It is found only in federal systems, where like in India we have federation. In Germany, Germany is a federal country. America is a federal country. Here this system is found. Now we switch over to another manifestation of power sharing, that is power sharing among social groups. In previous session and at the time of recap, I told you about community government formed by Belgium. The role of community government is to handle cases related to language, related to culture, related to education. Similarly, in India, we find that some of the seats are reserved for socially backward, for women, for weaker section of society. In class 9, you have studied about reserved constituencies. And the aim of this type of system is to give space to these backward, downtrodden classes to come forward and make their position in administrative and political arenas. The aim of democracy is to establish equality. And in order to make unequal equal, this provision has been introduced that downtrodden are given special privilege so that they can get better representation. Another manifestation of power sharing we can find in day-to-day life is power sharing by political parties, pressure groups, and movements. In class 9, you studied about election, you studied about political parties. Actually, representative democracy, that means modern democracies, generally don't become successful in the absence of political parties. And for making political party system democratic, there should be two or more than two political parties so that people can have enough choice to select for selection and for election. And this give rise to uh, that people have opportunity to elect this party, party A, party B, party C. That it's not always that one party will win every time and will form government. So this is a type of power sharing. Another thing, when a single party does not get majority to form government, they talk to single mind. They try to talk to different parties and try to form a group and try to form a coalition and to run government. And this is also a type of power sharing when different parties come together, form coalition, make an agreement and run government. There is another feature you might have heard about pressure groups or interest groups. These are not political at all. They are formed by people of different occupation. They may be student union, labor union, teachers union, advocates union, doctors union. They work to promote the interest of their community, occupational community. They are not at all political, but they want to they want to convince government to take decision in their favor. And when they influence the decision of government, it means that they are sharing power. So you can see that in modern democracies, power is being shared in different manner. It is shared in horizontal power sharing. You can see vertical power sharing. Power is being shared by various social groups. Along with it, power is shared by political parties, pressure group, etc. You studied democracy in class 9th, and we are continuing this journey here in class 10th also. But there is a difference. In class 9th, you studied democracy as political system, while in class 10th, you will study much broader approach of democracy, that democracy as a way of living. A society as a whole can be democratic, a family can be democratic, a relationship between two people can be democratic, and from this angle we will study democracy in class 10th. Now I will ask one question. I will give you one situation. that in my class, monitors keep on changing according to month-wise. Is it a type of power sharing or not? I repeat, my teacher changes monitors month-wise. Another situation, my teacher asks all the students to make rules of the class. Is it a type of power sharing or no? These are the two situations which you should introspect. Since it's not a interactive session, I will give you some hints. For in first situation, when monitors keep changing month-wise, yes, of course, it is a type of power sharing. Why? Because all the students have got opportunity to become monitor. That means power is shared by all the students. Everybody has got opportunity to become the monitor. Similarly, when teacher asks to form the rules of the class by which the whole class will be guided throughout the year, that means students are being consulted. Students are active participants in the formation of rules. That means it is also a type of power sharing, and it is a type feature, one of the features of democracy. So that's all about this chapter, power sharing. You have studied about two stories. The stories were given with the aim just to give you a practical idea, a general view that what is happening in democracy is evil. We expect other type of government to behave in arbitrary manner, but not in democracy. But in Sri Lanka, you have observed that government tried to establish the tyranny of majority. But in Belgium government was intending to establish a peaceful society. There they took constructive measures. And at the end, today you have studied various forms of power sharing. Now that's all for today. You will be given chapters also to read them thoroughly, introspect them, and relate this particular topic with your day-to-day life and observe whether your family is democratic or not, whether your classroom situation is democratic or not, whether you have democratic relation with your friend or not. That's all for today. Thank you. Thank you very much.